All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we are again on the Kasper Konnect podcast. It's our opportunity to connect with you and leverage the technology that we have here and our time to really allow us to once again feel like a family, work as a team, and work together. And today we're talking about my favorite topic, which is love.
Yes.
Because I love all y'all and I love everybody that's watching this. And so I'm excited for us to kick off on love.
Yeah, so we've been talking through our mission statements, and we kind of last week talked about our values and kind of like why would a company have values? And so now we're diving into each value. So this week, our value is love. And, you know, it's interesting for us to have a value of love. And I think for a lot of people, this is the one that they're like, we really got to bring it home for them. And so rather than asking the question, what is love? Because I think there's great philosophers that are like, what is love? You know, and
Baby, don't hurt.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So
Anyway.
I think what we have to do is we go, you know, what is it not? I think if we answer what is not love for us, I think that will really help maybe bring this point home for a lot of people. So if I was to ask you, what is not love for Kasper Electric, what would you guys say?
So can I hit this back to you, because you actually had the best answer, and I've heard this before and I believe it 100%.
Yeah. So I would say that love is not apathy. Like if you're thinking the opposite of what love is, apathy, which is like the lack of caring. And so I think if we were to think about what love is not, it's the lack of caring. And I think as we really pitch that idea of that, like how it looks then into Kasper, it is to care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To love is to care. And I think we have to like almost attach a blank to it. Love is to care enough to blank, you know? And so I think from our point of view from there, how does someone bring it home at that point? If you're to love something or love this company enough to care, what would it look like?
For me, it's I always stop when somebody says, good morning, how are you? How are you for a lot of people is just another way of saying hello. But for me, it's not. It's important to know if they're going to answer. In fact, sometimes I even answer and they're like, well, they were caught off guard. Then I'm like, man, I'm having a rough morning. And they're like, keep walking. Don't turn around. You know, and it wasn't their intention. Nothing against them. But like when I ask, how are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to care enough to stop and listen.
Yeah.
And in a world of speed, slowing down for someone else is caring.
Yeah, I think another example that we talked about was, you know, as you spend time with each other, and we spend a lot of time together, is that we learn body language, we learn facial expressions, and then there's times when y'all come to me and say, hey, what's going on? You seem off today. Or maybe we notice that in somebody else. And it's just as simple as like, I care enough about you to say, hey, are you okay? Anything I can help with today?
Yeah.
I think for our one of our old values that love kind of replaced, kind of upgraded, was others. And so I think love is just others focused and not self focused. It does go back to, you know, the Bible verse, like, you know, do unto others as you would have done to you. So it's just this idea of loving others and caring about others before self, that idea of like servanthood. I mean, we get the ultimate love in God, for God so loved the world that he gave, you know, his one and only son. Jesus loved us so much that he, you know, died on the cross for us. So that is such a sacrificial example of love. And I think that translates into what we're doing every day. It's like, how can I best serve the people around me? How can I show these people I love them by giving them the tools they need to do their job, helping them by training, equipping, and developing them to continue to grow in their respected areas? How can I, you know, be in the trenches with them when I need to be? Or like, you know, we talk about calling them up into what they need to be or calling them out. And so loving people looks different in a lot of different ways, and it can be, you know, practically applied in a lot of ways. But I think the ultimate idea is really just thinking about other people's well-being over your own well-being.
Yeah.
I think the key word you said is selfishness. And so you asked, what is love not? And I would say selfishness
Yeah.
is not love.
Yeah.
True.
Because ultimately, if you're being apathetic, right, like where you're doing nothing, that means, like, honestly, in our job context, it's literally you just show up and do the job, right? Rather than taking the extra step and saying the good mornings or, you know, like, hey, you did a great job there, you know, like those unnecessary things. Which would be like, you're going to basically, I'm going to choose to sacrifice, take a little extra time, do these things and play it out. And that way I'm helping to contribute in some fashion. That's the step of love for us.
I think the initiative that you helped us together like roll out is a perfect example of love. Like, what's going well, what's not going well, and how can I help? Like, man, you're making sure that these people are seen, they're heard, and now you're not worried about what you have to get done today and what you want to do today. You're worried about how can I help them do what they need to get done today. It's like, man, that's such a good way to love somebody every day.
Yeah. Awesome. What else you got?
I'm just thinking practically, like in the ditches, I've got young kids coming up in the trade and, you know, had school, you know, had a job that we had to get done, had school, and like the guy next to me going, man, let's go. We're going to get this done so you can get home and shower before you go to school. Like that, just the simplicity of like taking on what the other person's burden is and partnering with them to help carry the load.
Yeah. I think that's excellent, man.
Another great example is like we have, I think, 4 instructors now in the apprenticeship school that work for us, and their willingness to take personal time, not work, to help tutor. Hey, let me help prepare you for that journeyman exam. Let me. Why don't you come over to my house on Saturday and we can work on pipe bending again? That is a huge example of love.
awesome.
That they just love teaching and love those apprentices so much to use their personal time for that.
Yeah. And so I think what's good about this is because when people probably hear or see the value of love, they're like, Valentine's Day. And it's like, it's not Valentine's Day.
No.
You know, it is a contribution. And then the other thing that's very important for the generation that's coming up right now is authenticity, right? And so it's like, it's choosing to actually say, I'm putting an effort in to be authentic because this is a real thing. This isn't something that we're trying to fake. It's because we believe in it. And so you almost need a word so strong as love to really help to say, this is what we choose and this is what we believe in. And so hard to imagine that it's this, Valentine's Day thing, but it's more of this, we're contributing, we're caring.
And we value relationships.
Yeah.
We value people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, guys, I hope you are walking away with this understanding of love, not in the sense of just this like happy-go-lucky thing, but this thing where we are digging into the trenches and we're choosing to walk alongside one another and even at times sacrificing ourselves so that we can put others before us. And so I think that really capitalizes on what we believe this value is. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next time.